Summarize this entire night for you and your family in one word.
It's a head scratcher. Just gotta say Tucker. Felt him the whole night. That win was for him. The boys responding to everyone. That's for him. I think we all had a little bit of Tucker in us tonight. What a tough win. That's a three-peat champion right there. And, Game 18, we're out of the playoffs, and we show up like that against, the best team in the last 3 years. That doesn't show you something about this locker room. I don't know what will. Just happy to be a part of this team, and, happy to get that win for Tucker.
Aside from the grit and compete level you guys had tonight, was there anything else you were pleased with, either yourself personally or team perspective?
I just thought, it was one of those games where everyone contributed. Dougie stood on his head. Defense was incredible. We got into a lot of penalty trouble, and I thought our man-down unit was awesome. A lot of penalty kills, and I thought we had really timely goals, timely runs offensively. We had a little they were on a run, and we stayed composed. Earlier in the year, there's been times where other team goes on a run, and we kind of crumble as an offense and lose that momentum, lose that mojo. And I thought that we did a good job staying even keel, and just found a way to answer and keep that margin wide enough that we were able to just win that game comfortably. And it was great game to be a part of.
When you look back on the inaugural season here in Oshawa, what are some key moments that you're going to take away from that? Either personally or team-wise?
I think from a team perspective, I think just taking the whole season into account is very important. We've won in different scenarios. We've won big games where we've big margins. We've won close games. We've lost games, where we've had big leads, and we've given up kind of runs late in games. We've lost close games where we're behind. We've lost games where it's a wide margin from the start. I think we've played every different type of game that you can see in an NLL season, and that only helps us moving forward. This league is built on experience. It took that Buffalo core. It took them a while to get the job done and win. And once they kept on growing, they found a way to win by learning how to lose, learning how to come back from that. And our record isn't where we want it to be. But if we don't learn from it, we don't take it the next steps from it, then it'll go to waste. So I think it's about taking every lesson from the season and coming back next year ready to rumble and ready to respond, and knowing kind of whatever gets thrown at us, we're ready for, and we know what to do.
Talking about the room, it's been through a lot of adversity all through the season, ups and downs all over the place. But all through it all, you guys have stayed together and been really tight. Talk about being in the room and just growing together.
Yeah, this group is special. We have a very young team. We've added a few older veteran pieces, and that's helped a lot. Learning from those guys has been awesome. Because you need experience, like I just said, and you need experience in this league. And I think that, like I said before, the fact that it's Game 18 and, we're showing up and playing like that for each other is special. Because at the end of the day, record-wise, we have nothing to play for. The win or lose that game, that doesn't really affect us. We're not making the playoffs. We're not making a playoff run. And but we wanted to show up and win a game because that's what you're supposed to do. We showed up here in Oshawa to give the fans a show, win games for this city, and what a feeling to get it done against that team. So I think this game is a pure testament to how tight-knit we are, and the responses to those big hits and dirty plays, like showing up and sticking up for each other. No matter how how low the lows were this year and how high the highs were, we've stuck together, and that goes. It's a big testament to our leadership, to our coaching staff, to our locker room, to our culture. And as a second-year player, and wrapping up my second year, I couldn't be happier. Just being able to, I feel like myself, and I feel like this is a group where everyone belongs and feels welcome, and we all love each other and want to win with each other. So excited to be back in November for training camp and get ready. Our next game is going to be year 3 for me, and another chance. You're going to be 0-0 and a chance to change the tide a bit and flip the script. So looking forward to it.
Can you just talk about what this whole week has meant to Oshawa?
It's been a long week, I'll tell you that. There's it's hard to put into words what this community, not only Durham region, but the lacrosse community, what they've done for me and my family has been incredible. And this week's been a lot. It's been a lot of media hits, kind of running around, talking about Tucker a lot. And when I really do appreciate weeks like this, because I love keeping his name alive and being able to share his story and let people really feel like who he was and understand who he was. So any chance I get to really express what he meant to my family, what he meant to the game of lacrosse, what he meant to Oshawa, everything he's done, it's incredible. So this week has been cool. It's been special, and to cap it off with a win, wow, it's special. And my dad's one of my dad's high school best friends. He's in the band The Leghorns. They're performing at our post game spot tonight, and their band wrote a song called Braver Than Brave. I think it was less than a week after Tucker passed away, in honor of him, and played his celebration of life. What that means to me, the fact that we're wrapping up the season like this, going to be surrounded by friends and family. It's surreal. It's hard to put into words. This is my hometown. I'm proud of it, and I can't express how much the support means to me.
I asked your mom and your sister this question, I'm asking you too. What would your brother be saying right now with all this attention? He
doesn't love the attention, or he didn't love the attention. So, but I think the message that it's coming from it, he'd be happy with. He was as an 8-year-old, I've never met someone more humble, more just tough and courageous and smart, and he was wise beyond his years, and he'd just be happy that he's making a difference. At the end of the day, through his battle, that's what he showed. He showed tenacity, perseverance, bravery, and didn't stop fighting, and made sure that no one ever saw any signs of weaknesses. He just did it and was just happy to see people, happy to be around people, happy to play lacrosse, happy to play hockey, happy to play cards, mini sticks, anything. So that smile, I miss that smile, and just know he's definitely smiling right now. And
What does it mean for you to score a night like today?
yeah, it's cool, it's special. It's hard because I try to act like it's another lacrosse game once that whistle goes, but it's not. It means a little bit more. And every goal I score, I feel like Tucker's a part of it, and that was a big one for that. And especially with one getting called back, it definitely felt good to get a second one there. Well, I guess the first one, but get another one, and actually get one for him, and get to appreciate him, and so can't thank you.
Here's one last question, just the video tribute.
Oh that was emotional. Steve Wiz, he's done an incredible job this entire year. Meeting him last year, he helped with the documentary where I got to share Tucker's story, and these last couple weeks he's asked me to do a lot, and I know he always feels bad for dragging me out of stuff, but he's helping share Tucker's message. I'm getting emotional right now. It's cool seeing his story come to more eyes. Every time that the FireWolves post another thing about Tucker, more eyes get to see what Tucker was all about. Every time I get to talk about him, I get to explain what he meant to me and my family. So can't thank Wiz enough and the FireWolves enough for putting on tonight and making it so special.
Thanks, Dyson.
Can I just grab one?
Yes, follow. Yeah.
Different topic here. And your composure through all this has been really impressive. It's a ton of work. I can't imagine how hard that is. But different topic, Ryan Ganesh. You played with your dad. This could have been the end of his career. His son Parker was there with you guys to shoot around. Just what's it like to play with an all-time great, and maybe it's the end for him.
Hoping it's not the end for him. No, he's what a guy he is. What a character. Obviously, you know, comes into our team late in the year and kind of right as our seasons, it's going one way or the other, kind of one loss away from, you know, being eliminated, and you know, we get eliminated, and he's just happy to be here, and it was really cool being able to play with him. You know, my dad's last season in the NLL with Buffalo, he played alongside Benny. Benny played in the first ever Tucker Out Lymphoma game in Buffalo. If this is the end of his career, that's his last ever game. Beating Buffalo in a Tucker Out Lymphoma Night is, wow. Parker out there as a ball boy, I see, you know, that brings me back to me and Tucker being out there, you know, being ball boys for my dad. So yeah, it was surreal, full circle. You know, I'm so happy that I got the chance to play some games with him. Hopefully he's back. Yeah, anytime you get a chance to play with a guy like him, you know, you really got to soak it in, appreciate it, and you know, he's one of the, you know, vets we had where I've, you know, been able to, you know, really, you know, learn from him, learn from his experiences, and you know, playing with him was special, and hopefully I get to do it some more.